Hey, what's up, guys? Husky here at Clear Fork Country, kicking off episode 4 of the Clear Fork Country podcast. Guys, kind of a recap on last week here with Keelan. We were talking about how I got into the hunting industry, what made me want to decide to build this store out here, and I couldn't think of a better person to bring on, kind of fill in the gaps and talk about, archery hunting, how that was big into getting us into this industry, and then one of my best friends and hunting partner, Jace Hutchins.
Hey guys, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here today, and I just want to say excellent job last week, Husky. It was really great to listen in and hear about your passion for the outdoors and how you built this store up, and I'm glad you got to share that with everyone because, there's a lot of people that maybe don't know how you were brought up and kind of the struggles you've been through in the recent years, so I think it's just incredible to see what you've built, and I really enjoyed listening to that one. So,
well, I appreciate it, and you kind of been around since day one. So.
Early days, yeah.
The grind when you used to have to come up here on the weekends to help me out.
Yep. It's been a blast, man. I mean, you've turned into something incredible, and I'm thankful to call you my friend and be sitting here by you today. But
I appreciate that. Well, old J Dog, he comes up here. Y'all see Jay every now and then. You just don't know. He's the guy standing by the door working security during the big events.
Yeah.
That's Jason's dad. So just so y'all can put a name to the face.
Yep.
Yeah, but guys, man, one thing we want to talk about is, archery hunting. That is something that I think a lot of people want to do, but it's kind of intimidating to get started in, and not having, maybe somebody in your life that kind of leads that passion.
Oh yeah, it's certainly, and there's a steep learning curve to come with it. And if you don't have someone in your family that started off, you're learning a lot of those lessons by yourself. Could be at a young age, could be when you get older, but it takes some time to get, pretty good skill set built up for archery hunting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you remember your first bow like it's yesterday. I remember mine, a little no sight, with a whisker biscuit on there and just instinct shooting, just taking it by storm. And your dad wasn't into bow hunting.
No, my dad wasn't into bow hunting. Fortunately for me, he did. After I got my first buck, he bought me a cheap little bow down there from Cabela's. I think it was like a 25-pound draw weight. Old whisker biscuit, True Glow sight on it probably, or knockoff of that. And I started slinging arrows though at like 13 after I shot my first buck, and it was a blast. And just having someone that takes that first step to get you a bow and get you out in the woods is a big progress to be made.
Part of getting going. Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing that we had. We just, we were all friends. We all wanted to bow hunt. We all watched Real Tree Road Trips.
Yeah.
That was kind of like
our bone collector.
Yeah. That was like the only thing we knew. So of course they had the Hoyts. They had, all the best gear. And we were like, well, we got these Brownings, just whatever. I still remember my first set of arrows that I got that Christmas was some Carbon Express arrows and slick trick broadheads.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was I lost half of them in the backyard shooting at robins, and just sending them over there. You don't know where they go once you send them across the backyard. But guys, there was a lot of pressure. Getting into archery, we were just. Well, we didn't know anything about it. We just thought like, hey, this would be a blast. And we were in junior high. I'd say probably 7th grade when we got serious about it.
Yeah.
And take us into your first archery hunt, man. How did that go?
Yeah.
So, what led up to that? And did you practice a bunch before you got out there?
Yeah, certainly. So my first archery hunt, like I mentioned, my dad bought me this cheap bow after I killed my first deer and let me start shooting in the backyard. And, he didn't want to spend a lot of money because it can get expensive early on if I wasn't going to be committed to it.
Yeah.
But I was back there shooting that old yellow target every day, the yellow bag target every day after school. And that thing was so weak, the arrow would barely stick in it half the time. I'm back there pulling it, shooting it every day. And fortunately for me, my dad's, one of his good friends, Shane, had a place out towards Newcastle. And he let me go hunting out there one weekend, and it was snow on the ground. My dad didn't know anything about bow hunting. I didn't know anything about bow hunting besides all the TV shows that I watched, and those guys were bow hunters. And
40 foot up in a tree in Kansas.
Yeah. So here I am sitting by, this guy had a feeder with a feeder pin around it. And then we bought a cheap ground blind from Walmart, some cheap broadheads from Walmart. I had some aluminum arrows.
Yeah.
And we went out there and set it up by a tree one night. And it had snowed. My dad took me out there the next morning. I'm like 13-year-old, just jacked. I'm going on my first bow hunt, right? I go get in the blind. This blind is built for like a, I think it might be like a kid's toy. It's kind of the way it's set up. I climbed in there, man.
Pop up.
Like when I would draw my bow back in it, it would like pop a wheelie.
Just
The blind would lift off the ground.
It's one of those little triangle.
Yeah,
weird
kind of a
ones,
triangle one with a, yeah. So anyways, we got that set up and we got out there one morning and I couldn't believe my eyes, man. The feeder goes off. It's like still decently dark, but I see antlers just coming in. I'm like, oh God, it's going to actually happen.
Your heart's bumping out of your chest.
Heart's beating like crazy. So this buck, he comes into the feeder pen. Somehow, like, this would never I would learn later how much more difficult archery hunting was than the experience I had this first time. Because it's like my first time sitting there, here comes a buck. I draw my bow back. He's still there. He looks at the blind like, why is this blind popping a wheelie? But he didn't really care because he's like so comfortable there. It was near town too. And anyways, I let one rip. Boom. Did not hit the buck. I hit the post of the feeder pin. So the buck like jumps out. I remember whispering to myself, dang it. And he like hops out. Then he turns around and starts coming back. So I grab another one of those loud aluminum arrows.
This would never happen now.
Yeah. Slide it in my whisker biscuit. Draw back again. Shoot. I'm pretty sure I hit it this time. But like I said, there was a lot of snow on the ground. I couldn't find my arrow. There was like one little tiny, looked like a red dot that I convinced myself was blood. But we searched and searched and couldn't find anything.
The arrow probably just hit him and bounced off.
Out, yeah.
Well, and that's, that one experience, you were hooked though.
Oh, I was hooked from then on. And then, fortunately after that, my dad saw that I was invested in it and he invested in me. It bought me a little bit better bow, but we can kind of deter that a little bit. I want to hear about your first archery hunt.
Man, so I had the Browning, one of those rip open package bows. And, all right, there's no bow shops in Graham at the time. So it's just kind of like running with the punches. And you open up the bow and you're like, okay, cool. Like string, bow, and a few arrows. Like, what do you do now? And it's like, okay, here's a little whisker biscuit and it's just no sights, just go for it.
Yeah.
So
that's so crazy that you didn't have a sight.
No sight. And I'm telling you, it's a whisker biscuit, but I think it's one of those little metal prongs.
V's.
Yeah, little metal V's. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to go for it. Like, just start shooting in the backyard. And I didn't have, unfortunately, I didn't really have a place to hunt at all. Our buddy Steve, family had some land out on Bullock Road out by Newcastle.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, he starts talking to us. He's like, yeah, I shoot a bow. We all.
Yeah, we're all become really good friends.
Yeah, based off of hunting. Like, we're still all friends based off of the fact that, we all shoot bows. And so, and at the time, nobody in our age group was shooting.
Yeah, it
bows.
didn't
I
seem
feel like
like
it's
it.
a lot more popular now. But so we're like, all right, let's go bow hunting. So our parents drop us off out there to camp, and our camp is a little different. So our parents would drop us off at this tank next to a county road on this property, and they leave us with potatoes, serendipity seasoning, and oil, and a cast iron pan. And it's like,
nuts,
okay,
dude.
we'll see you on Sunday afternoon. It's either Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, usually Friday afternoon, and then they come pick us back up. So we had to survive off of whatever rabbits or whatever we killed.
That's so crazy. And you never even been bow hunting before.
No, it's just like, hey, you got your bow. They'd leave us. We'd have a gun, but you can't shoot anything with a gun during bow season. So me and Steve, we go out there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get my first deer. So deer.
That place is the best place to entry to bow hunting. Like,
oh yeah.
So many deer. Like, it's crazy out there.
It is. Back when they used to plant the wheat out there, you'd see 400 deer
on
this place.
And they hadn't been hunted in a long time, so there was like
zero
no pressure.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to get entered in the bow hunting.
And this place is like ate up with deer. They don't care. Like that night, the first night I've ever stayed out there, this deer walks by the tent at like 15 yards, which at the time was probably too far of a shot. It's probably why I didn't take it.
Yeah.
So that next morning, we're scared to death, get in a blind. We don't see nothing because the pigs are grunting and stuff, and it's dark, and we're walking in. And we're like 12 at the time. So we're like, okay. That afternoon, Steve goes his way. He climbs up in like the Y of a tree, and he's like, I'm just going to sit here on this road. And I sit at this other road crossing where it goes kind of through a barbed wire fence into a wheat field. And now looking back, like the way I shot my deer probably worked out because it's like neighbor's fence, the tree house.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like where those deer would cross and then go through the fence into the neighbor's wheat. So get up in there and I take some code blue urine.
Oh, dear urine.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm
In archery.
in archery.
Yeah.
You dab it everywhere on the feet.
Well, that's the thing is like, as a youth watching those hunting shows,
yeah, you don't.
they're just peddling products on a lot of it. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Code Blue is like, we have to have it.
Yeah, I know. It starts the episode like, you know, Carbon Express.
Yeah.
Code blue. So yours like, yep, if I'm bow hunting, if I don't have
This is
code
what
blue,
I need.
it's
Yeah.
not going to work. And so I take this code blue and I just dump a whole bottle all over the ground. Like you said, nothing's going to care. It's October like 2nd.
Yeah.
Nothing's rutted up. And I climb up in this tree stand that's 5 feet off the ground. So I would have been better off sitting on the ground than the deer looking at my feet. And so I'm stoked. And I'm like, first deer that comes out, I'm sending it. I'm going to say, no sight, nothing. Luckily, this doe walks in. She looks massive. Coming up the road and like 3 yards, you know, we don't have rangefinders, but I know like I could almost reach out and touch her if I was on the ground. And so I'm like, I aim at her, send it, spine this doe, falls right there. And I'm, you know, so jacked up, I can't even talk. Me and Steve meet up. You know, he comes over here and we got flip phones at the time. Man, I got to track down this picture. I don't know where it's at. Maybe we find it on Facebook.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it
Holding
somewhere.
the deer.
I'm holding this doe up with one hand. And, but dude,
Happiest day of your life.
Happiest day of my life. I
To
still
that
remember it
point.
like it's yesterday. Probably still had spots on her, but she ate good that night with some serendipity and potatoes. But, you know, like we just went for it.
Yeah,
man.
that's just getting thrown into it.
Yeah, just go out there. You know, now we have the I would say the youth now have the luxury of in this area they can come in anywhere, and you got like Massey's pumping out like mission bows.
Yeah.
You know, you can shoot
You can get
70,
fitted
80
into
yards with them. You know, you can fit into them and
Fit it young and let it grow with you.
let it grow with you.
Yeah.
And there's so many nice options, and you know, used to you pull back a bow and it yank you forward.
Well, that's something too that you mentioned was like at the time there were no archery shops around Graham. So
No.
we had that, like my dad went to Cabela's, so I'm not sure where your mom got that brown name, Bass Pro or something like that probably.
garage
and you
sale.
bring it back and yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to figure out how to put it together. And then, you know, fortunately after we got into bow hunting, like after that first season,
Yeah.
is when coincidentally Bill, who runs the bow shop here at Clear Fork now,
I
opened
know,
up his
crazy.
store right down the road from our house. So
Yeah, that was Avenue B, Avenue C.
yeah.
Candlestick
If
Lane.
you live there around Avenue C, any of the avenues, Candlestick,
And Graham, you
back
were-
in 2007 through 2009-ish, I just want to apologize.
Yeah,
ahead
we
of
were,
time.
we were not
We were a little
bad
bit
kids.
rambunctious.
Yeah,
We didn't damage anything, but we like to have fun.
yeah, and we like to shoot arrows all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
we'd always, you know, someone would call us in. They'd come over there and like, you boys shooting them bows at houses? Like, no, we're over here hunting rabbits in Salt Desert.
Salt Desert, yeah.
Which is a mesquite flat, kind of in the corner of a cul-de-sac that no one, you know, they hadn't built any homes in yet.
Yeah.
And so we'd go over there and we'd set snares and traps and we'd rabbit hunt and just whatever we could send an arrow at, we'd send an arrow.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden, right behind Salt Desert, up pops a archery shop.
Yeah. Here comes Bill,
Yep.
which a lot of y'all know Bill. Bill is the lead bow tech here and been doing archery for a lot longer than we've been alive.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
So of course we go in there and we're amazed. He's got the Hoyt Bone Collector
It's like Hoyt,
edition.
yeah. Because we both, like we already mentioned, grew up on Bone Collector and we're in love
Yeah.
with it. So like Hoyt bows, like if we could get a Hoyt, that's when we're going to kill the Giants.
Yeah, anything we could. And we just told our parents, like, we want nothing else except a brand new Hoyt.
Yeah, so.
And that was a lot of money.
Oh,
like,
it was.
They were probably $900 bows then.
Yeah, I remember.
Maybe not quite, but I think a full setup would have ran us about $1,300.
Yeah, my dad and I went in there, and he got one, and I got one. Same bow, Hoyt Maxxis 31. I remember I got the camo limbs and the black riser. And then my dad, I think he got all black. But
he still has that bow.
Yeah, and I still have mine too. I never let go of that one. That was special.
Mine's in here. If you guys come in here, mine's over on the hanging up by the ibex up in the archery. And I've actually sold that bow twice, and I've got it back.
Yeah.
And now I'm just gonna keep it as but when starting out, when we opened this, I had to sell some stuff to get things stocked. But I'm so glad I got it back.
Yeah.
Because not only was that my first bow, that was Bill's very first archery bow sale in Graham.
Wow.
In his own bow shop. And so great story behind that. And so we would do anything to get to go over there every day.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think you lived up there. You and Bill became my best friends.
Bill taught me how to bow tech, fletch arrows, tie D-loops. I mean, I'd take out his trash or whatever he needed just to learn the ins and outs of it. And then I trapped beavers down at Graham Lake, and whatever money I made from the homeowner for trapping her beavers, I would go and spend in that bow shop.
Get the Carbon Express, get all these things. Yeah.
Just whatever. I got into the old Ted Nugent.
Oh yeah,
arrow,
the Spirit of the Wild.
Spirit of the Wild, the zebra strapped arrow.
Yeah.
Still, hey, we still carry. I have looking at a set over there on the wall.
Yeah.
Those arrows are slick. So easy to find.
Yeah.
But guys, I mean, it was fun, and once we kind of had somebody to teach us,
the correct form,
the correct form and stuff, and obviously he was ambitious to sell some bows as well.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, you couldn't pull yours back.
When I first got mine, I probably weighed 85 pounds.
Yeah.
The lightest bow that he had was a 50-pounder at the time, and I couldn't pull it back by myself. I'd get it part of the way. My dad would have to help me break it over on my elbow. But after a few weeks of shooting it like that, you build up the strength pretty quick. It's just kind of foreign to you when you first start. It's, feels a little awkward. You haven't done that motion before.
Yeah.
But that's one great thing too, is we had that opportunity. That bow shop actually left after some time. Graham was kind of vacant for a while. And now you've built up this bow shop again for kids to come in and adults to get introduced into bow hunting.
Yes, sir. Their first time, or it amazes me seeing we got 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds that come in here. That
I've seen that little guy.
Yeah, they're impressive.
He's got a full-blown compound bow.
Yeah, I know, and it's just what's out there. I wanted to get my daughter into it, and it's Bill just takes a Matthews mission, and in no time, she's over here shooting groups, and I'm like, man, if we didn't have that luxury, but now that kids do, that's one of our favorite things is getting them into archery, because whether you get the dad into archery or the mom, or the kids follow, or the kids get into it, well then dad or mom want to be part of it and go
that's what
outside
happened
and
with
shoot.
my dad and I.
And then it kind of turns into a family deal of getting into archery. But you see kind of two ways. You got guys that don't want to get into it because whether it be intimidating, they see all this pressure to spend $2 or $3 grand on the setup, which you don't have to do. Right. And then you got the other end where guys used to love bow hunting. They got into it, but they started 20 years ago.
Yeah.
When a bow was pulling back a
equipment was a lot different. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a pulley system. We were pulling 200 pounds back here. And so what I try to tell them is hey, they're, I had shoulder surgery. I'm afraid to get back into archery. And now the let off on a bow, turning a bow down, the kinetic energy you're getting out of a bow at 50 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think there's a lot of guys that are getting older that do have shoulder problems or whatever it may be that can actually get into a bow still and go hunt, turn down your bow. Guys, do not have to shoot 70 pounds.
Oh, yeah. And I think, that's a big thing is the draw cycle's gotten so much smoother. If we'd go pull that Hoyt off of the ibex over there and draw it back at 50 pounds first, grab it one of these new Dartons or something off the wall
70.
at 70, and the 70 is going to feel a lot better on you. So
100%,
yeah.
100%. And it's a fun deal to get into. It's something that I would suggest if you're thought about it. Like, you don't have to go all out, man.
No,
Come
no.
in here, find a used bow, get a Mission Menace, or get a Darton. Like, I can't remember the name right now, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into the most expensive bow. Because you're gonna take yourself there.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If
you spend $300 on a bow right now, next year you're gonna go up to 500, 600. You may go ahead and just say, man, I love this. I'm gonna
step up.
I'm gonna buy a $1,200 bow and then rig it out.
Get the accessories.
And there is some benefits, I would say, to having a new bow, the top of the line, and having those.
Well, you get it fitted to you like a glove, and that's another thing. I would recommend not just going out and buying one on Facebook and expecting to just shoot it in your backyard. You'll be struggling with accuracy and stuff. If you buy a used one, that's fine. I mean, I think that's a great way to get started.
Well, and we see that a lot. Like, they'll buy a used one on Facebook, and then they show up here, and he's like, well, I can't pull it back. Can you adjust it? Hey, that bow doesn't go to 50 pounds or 60.
Yeah.
It's a 60 to 70 pound bow only. So, make sure and have a little knowledge. And that is the benefit of coming over here. Is like, we do have used bows. We have new bows. But if you came in, you're like, hey, I want that bow right there. And, it's $500. We'll tell you, like, that bow don't fit you.
Right.
That bow's for somebody with a 28-inch draw length to 30, or, it may not be adjustable. And we can't fit it to you, so you're wasting your money buying it.
Right.
And I see that a lot with parents too. That they order a TikTok bow or an Amazon bow.
Yeah, they just buy something quickly because they want to get something for their kid. But there's a lot that goes into it, and
a lot.
One of the main things, like one of the luxuries we had moving from those cheap preliminary bows that we started out with to having Bill and his expertise, is those bows get fitted to you like a glove, and you start shooting them so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So
I still think I shot better in
junior high than I do now.
Yeah,
certainly.
But it was the target panic when you saw a deer, and the emotions that overcome you at that age.
Oh man.
Well, and they still do. Like, we still get those exciting moments, but we have more control of it.
Yeah. I think we should talk through that as kind of like some of our experiences in the early age of bow hunting to where we're at today, and kind of how we've progressed, and share some of those lessons learned for people that are interested in getting into bow hunting.
Kick that off, man. Tell us a hunt where you.
Yeah. So I'll just start off with like my first successful archery hunt, and then maybe one of the following ones after that, because I feel like there was a big leap there.
Big change.
So my dad had got me a lease out on Finest out here, and we set up a tripod deer stand and a little barrel feeder. Shoot, like we mentioned in those early days, I've got to be covered from head to toe in camo. I don't care if it's 90 degrees, 100 degrees in September. I've got the face mask on.
You got to have it all.
I'm fully prepped, and I'd get in the blind or get in that stand. I'd nock an arrow. I'd put my release on my D-loop, and I'd just sit there and wait.
Oh, I know. Your arms just burn, and you're just like, well, I'm going to hold my bow the entire hunt because I got to make it happen.
I think the sun probably sets at like 7:30. My feeder probably goes off at 5 because my dad was all about getting in there early. I'd probably get in the blind at 3 o'clock. And I'd sit there all night, and I bet I sat 20 times and never saw a deer. And, we were just nervous about it. And eventually, I was sitting there one evening, and here comes the doe, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
Like,
I've been sitting there all this time getting beat down, but my heart just started beating like uncontrollably. I'd never felt a feeling like that, man. And somehow I was able to keep my cool. I just remember drawing back, seeing brown. I don't remember anything after that except for that I shot this deer, and I called my dad. Dad, I smoked this deer. Like, I was so fired up. I thought my heartbeat was gonna scare her off before when she came in.
It's beating so hard.
But anyways, like, we get down there, man, and we give her like 30 minutes. We go down and find this doe, just shot like straight in the center of her body. Like, you couldn't be more in the center. Like, so not the best shot, but it did the job. And I was just fired up, man. I think like me and my dad shared a pretty special moment there. Like, I think he saw how in love with it I was and how addicted I was going to be to it. And so moving on from that one, he got me a little bit better lease out towards Murray, and a lot more deer, some pretty big bucks out there.
Big bucks over in Murray.
Yeah.
Man. I know a lot of you guys watching, y'all hunt out that way, and I mean, there's some big deer that way.
Definitely. So this one was over off Murray Circle, I think, and yeah, he would drive me. It was like an hour from our house. We'd drive me out there. Same thing. I'd get in the blind way too early, but I had this really nice 10-point with a double throat patch that I was going after.
Yeah, I need this deer.
And this is like, so I went from my very first archery hunt with this cheap, more like a toy bow,
Yeah.
shoot at this buck, somehow got lucky, you know. And then I had sat forever, didn't see anything, shot a doe, made success. And then it took me a long time to have some more success. There was a bunch of deer out there, but you just had to learn how to overcome the mistakes. You're here 10, 15 yards away from these deer.
Oh, yeah, and
they hear everything, and they look giant.
They're the biggest deer you've ever seen.
And this was probably like a 145, 150 class deer that I was going after.
Still get jacked up.
And yeah, like I would be fired up today to try to shoot it. And anyways, I remember sitting there. One time he came in, I went to clip my release onto my D-loop, and it made a clicking noise. Boom, gone. I'm like, son of a gun. Another time, like, and those deer are just staring into your soul. I didn't have the best cover.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
like,
in this.
you know what? You're looking at them. They're staring at you, and you're like, she's kind of look to the left, like maybe if I look this way, they won't know I'm a human.
Yeah, and that's something that I had to learn was like, how still did I need to be? Because I would sit there as still as I could the whole time, and I would just kind of like drain myself, you know, just because I was constantly anticipating the moment. I found out over time that the deer aren't going to come in as most likely they were going to come in right when I got there.
Yeah, probably 30 minutes. You know, if you're lucky, they come in 30 minutes before the feeder goes.
Yeah. So then I think I saw that deer another time. This time I was always prepped with my release on my D-loop, and I still do this today. I sit with my arrow knocked and my D-loop ready. That way if the deer does come, all I have to do is pull up my bow. Well, then I found out that pulling up your bow takes a lot of movement, and the deer catch that. So spook deer off that way. And I'm like, golly, this bow hunting's hard. You know, it's not like those first two times.
It's not like in the movies.
Yeah, so just to get to the point where you can draw your bow back is a game changer. So finally, one day I'm sitting there. I think it was in the morning, yeah. And this buck comes out. I had my bow vertical already. I had my release hooked up. And there he is, 15 yards, 20 yards, broadside. There's probably like 4 or 5 other deer there. And this time I get drawn back. And same thing, my heart's beating so hard, I'm like, this deer's gonna bolt because of how loud my heart is beating. I could hear it. It sounded like it was really loud, but I end up just completely like blacking out. Shoot, I think I smoked him. I call my dad, I'm like, Dad, I smoked him. Like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah, you don't remember any bit of it.
And then I'm like, he's like, all right, I'm gonna give you like 30 minutes and I'm gonna come over there and we'll go try to find him. I'm like, okay, perfect. So like I'm sitting there just like shaking, think I'm gonna fall out of this tripod. And man, I was sitting there and I started thinking, I'm like, trying to think, like rethink through the shot and everything. I'm like, I can't remember anything. Like, I think I hit him.
Yeah,
I was convinced when I called my dad that I smoked him, but then I'm like sitting there and doubts creeping in. I'm like, well, I can't picture the thought.
Is real.
It's insane, dude. So my dad gets there and we're like looking for blood, can't find the arrow. We're like, what the heck? I'm like, Dad, I'm telling you, like, I feel like I smoked him, but I can't really remember. And then like 30 yards behind where I thought I shot the deer at, find my arrow just dry.
Just dry.
Heartbreaking, man. And you know, I spent a lot of time after that. Actually, I didn't shoot a buck with my bow for like 6 years after that. So it's a struggle.
Big gap. And that's like when you're getting into it, you know, the adrenaline dump because like even now I can take my rifle out and don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I love it. Like that's one of my favorite ways to hunt.
Yeah.
But when you have that adrenaline, you have a deer in front of you with a bow, even after years of now you learn to control it until after the fact.
Yeah.
Right? I know one big thing, one year you really focused on like mental repetitions prior to making your shot.
Yeah. And I had another mistake. This has been probably like 7 years ago now when I got the opportunity to shoot my first buck and I didn't make the best shot on it. And from that point on, you know, that tears you apart as a bow hunter, but if you bow hunt long enough, it's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to recover that deer. And I kind of changed my mindset, and I feel like I have to figure out a way to overcome this rush of emotions that
blackout.
comes.
Yeah.
And blacking out whenever the opportunity comes. So what I really started doing was the whole time I'm sitting in the stand is just try to envision how my hunt could go, different ways for the deer to come in, and keep myself calm. And, you know, that's really helps because when the opportunity does arise, I'm ready to go. I don't feel like I'm overtaken by adrenaline rush. And then as soon as you let that arrow go, it's a spike, though. It's right back to like it was when you were a kid and you're just like shaking in the tree as a grown man.
Yeah, you're just trying to like tell yourself like, hey, don't look at his horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, just look
Like,
at focus on
As
what.
soon as you verify it's the deer, then unplug from the antler.
Yeah, unplug
just
from the
Wait
antlers.
for the right
And,
opportunity.
You know, it's amazing. Like, you know, like we're buddies. We've been hunting together a long time, and we know kind of all the deer we've taken. But did you had like some crazy years once it like happened for you?
Oh, yeah.
It was, you know, this guy, you killed 3 deer. They were just giants within 10 days
Yeah.
of each other. That was like the trifecta year. Like
Yeah, that was insane.
Would you say that was probably one of your best?
Oh, that was definitely my
Your
best
best
year.
year.
Well, yeah, it kind of just all started to fall together for me. So the year after I wounded that buck, you and I were actually hunting together when I killed my first buck with my bow.
Yep.
And, you know, that was just an amazing time. And that was the first time that I really shifted focus to I've got to figure out how to control myself and make the shot count. And then you can go crazy afterwards.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we got that
morning.
on camera.
That
Yeah.
was that's when we started dabbling into film, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
like the old mega meets.
So, yeah, me and Husky. So if you're gonna hunt with a friend and you're gonna film,
Yeah.
like you got to come up with some sign language because you can't talk when these deer are like 20 yards away. So I'm like hunting some management bucks on Husky's place, and he's like, we're like, we got to come up with a symbol for
when it's time to shoot.
like if it's gonna be a shooter or not. So we came up with a symbol. We always joke from watching Pigman. He goes,
Yeah.
"I pinch."
I pinch.
So we're like, act like you're pinching something.
Yeah, so this is the signal right here. Like you do that, like I know I'm killing that deer.
Yeah, so like we had this, we should post some of these clips from this hunt.
Yeah.
Like we had this bachelor group of like 5-6 bucks just coming in on a line, and Husky's like giving me the pinch symbol. So I'm
you
like,
let one
set
have
up.
it.
Yeah, and this buck comes in like 20 yards, just giant body.
Dude, he was just he was a big 7, wasn't he? Or
He was an 8, yeah.
8, yeah.
And,
And the deer that you ended up killing on your best year
Yeah.
was in that same bachelor group.
Yeah,
So we filmed him, but we knew he was younger.
yeah,
And so like guys,
yeah,
and that's another big deal. Is like teaching yourself to pass deer
Yeah.
that are younger was
that was
hard.
tough, especially younger. Yeah, talk through some of those experiences you had, especially like out there at Steve's and whatnot.
Oh yeah, like so we you know, back getting going into archery hunting when these deer, it's different looking at a deer at 100, 200 yards through a scope out there in the field, and you got other deer around it you can compare.
Right.
But when you're in a tree stand and you're 15, 20 yards from these animals and they come in, they just look ginormous.
so much bigger,
and so
yeah.
ground shrinkage is real when you start getting into bow hunting early. Now you got tacticams.
Well, and you have the adrenaline like overtaking you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like, oh, this is a giant buck.
No, I still remember like I'd shot every doe in the world in high school and junior high, and I think I'd lost a buck out at Steve's. I'd missed a really big deer out there, and I go, our buddy Spencer, he's got a ranch out in South Bend, and we come in from I think Abilene, and I'm like, I'm gonna go hunt this tripod over here. Like, yeah, Husky, you know, his dad, he let us, take whatever deer we want as long as it's mature. And so I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be
Like, this is my hunt.
yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen. So I get up in this tripod. Here comes this 10. Now he's 9. Still got his Euro upstairs, and I'm like, oh yeah, 150 inch deer all day.
Well, also like the ranch had like a lot of nostalgia to it. So like you just think every buck out there is just the biggest
Yeah,
buck.
that ranch is like known for big deer. Like they've killed some monsters.
You
Like,
finally get in to hunt it and shoot at a buck. So
Yeah.
you're like, yeah.
yeah, like this. Anytime you spotlighted for pigs out there, you'd see a real 150 inch
Yeah.
deer. And so I'm up in this tripod, and it's like 12 yards. I mean, it's so close. This deer comes in, I'm like, giant, instantly. I mean, and finally, this is the time where like I felt like I was under control. Heart was going crazy. Smoked this deer. Like I find him immediately, and I'm like, oh, I get down. I see him crash.
Yeah.
Run over there, and I'm like,
oh.
This deer is like maybe 125 to 130, probably not even 130. And I'm like, he's old.
Yeah. Oh, he's 6 years old.
Yeah, it's a ran down deer. Definitely wasn't. It's probably a 4.5-year-old, big 9, probably would have turned into a 10. But like, that's just part of getting into it. And you learn deer management. You learn to watch deer. I mean, the cellular cameras are.
Oh, those are a complete game changer. I know.
Because now you can look at them and age them way before you get out there. Now, you still you still got to fight that urge inside when you do see him. Like, well, maybe he's older than I thought.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to let him have it.
But that helps a lot. How long did you go from when you first started bow hunting until you shot your first buck then?
Man, I would say, so we're talking about 12 years old I had my own pickup, I was living in, I guess.
Abilene? Were you in Abilene?
No, I wasn't quite in Abilene. So I guess I was like 18.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, that's 6 years.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me too, is like I had shot does.
Yeah,
from 13, I don't think I shot my first buck until I was probably like 20.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. 7 years of like bow hunting hard. I never got the chance I never killed a buck and recovered it until like 7 years later. So don't get discouraged.
No, don't get discouraged at all. And some guys are just going to be naturals. Like our buddy Spencer has 0 practices, never.
And some people are lucky. Like when I took my little brother-in-law, smokes a giant 12.
Yeah, your brother-in-law's first hunt ever, gets in the blind. 10 minutes later, 4:30, kills a melanistic, half white,
155, 160 inch, typical 12 point.
Typical 12, and it's like, and that was a feeder. I dumped a bag of corn in. Jason's like, hey, I'm going to take my brother-in-law out, and which is super young. I'm going to take him out for his first deer hunt. Boom. Done deal. We got buddies that only pull out their bow
once a year.
Once a year. They kill giants.
Truett on the elk.
Yeah, that's just, Truett. Kill the palmated 6x7, first elk hunt ever. And so I guess for some people it happens. Some people you got to work up to it. And I feel like when you're really passionate about it, it almost consumes you in a way that
it might hurt you a little bit.
It might hurt you a little bit. Yeah, you get so obsessed with it. Man, but what do you think you're like? What are the things you got to have to get, your first bow, getting into archery?
Yeah, I guess one thing I would say is it's from the outside looking in, it can be intimidating because there's so much stuff it seems like to learn and that you don't know. At the end of the day, it's pretty simple. You're shooting a stick and a string just like the Indians used to.
Yeah, they were killing.
I would say like the number one most important thing is coming into a shop that you can trust like yours with, we're talking about Bill, the guy that built our bows when we were kids getting into this. He's in your shop now and he does an excellent job. It's like, come in and get that fitted to yourself. And then no pressure of like, they're not. I gotta sell you. Yeah, Bill's not gonna judge you. He's not gonna be trying to sell you. He's just gonna. He loves archery and he wants to get people into it. So I think going to a shop like that you can trust the people there. Absolutely. And just getting the equipment tuned to your. Even if it's finding one in your area, like a lot of you guys don't live around here. Just find a place that you can. And we'd love for you to travel over here and stop by. And we put a lot of people in new bows that have got a new bow, and by that afternoon they show up here in the bay with like a big deer, and I'm like, man, they'll leave us a review. They're so excited because they got a bow that day and they killed a buck that afternoon. Yeah, and that doesn't happen for everyone, and that's amazing. But that is the difference now. It's like you can set someone up, tailor it. If you take the time to go in a bow shop. Yeah, so just plan out. It's probably going to take you a few hours to come in and get completely set up, but when you're done, that bow's going to be fitted to you, and then just practice after that. No, and you don't have to come in and like see people. And don't get me wrong, I love it when you come in and you want it all. At one time. But guys, like you don't have to come in and get the bow, the case, the quiver, even now I don't even hunt with my quiver anymore. Yeah, I don't. Like in the mountains, it's a different story. You kind of got to have it, but like around here, you're hunting in a ground blind, a tree stand, a tripod.
you're not walking very far to get into it. And so you can come in, get a bow, get arrows. I mean, obviously you're going to have some kind of sight,
Yep.
some kind of drop away rest. And then a target.
Yeah.
Shoot, grab that, get out there, start shooting. I would say I used to not have a target, just like a pillow in a cardboard box, but
That doesn't happen anymore. Yeah,
no, these bows
way too
now are
advanced.
way too much. So you need to buy some kind of bag target or something because they'll be punching through, hitting something. But
Well, and you guys have yearly memberships for indoor range
yeah,
here, right?
yeah, absolutely. You can do day fees, monthly fees, yearly memberships, affordable. Like that was big when I built this. Like I wanted people to be able to come in on a hot day because, we used to have to sweat it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, don't get intimidated. Don't worry about how much money you got to invest in it. Start out lot.
Yeah.
If you want to go all in, great. We'd love to help you with that too. But start out, make sure you like it. Make sure it's something you're going to like it. If you really get into a tree stand in, you get to start hunting 30 days early.
Yeah, and that's a huge advantage too. Is like early in the season, if you can get on those bucks pattern, they're a lot easier to hunt, honestly, than they
Yeah.
are later. They're unpredictable once November time frame comes around. They break out of those bachelor groups, but early in the season,
100%.
when they're in those bachelor groups, you can have a lot of success.
We've
early on.
taken deer that we've been able to pattern all summer for the last 3 years
Yeah.
in a row in the first 2 days of bow season.
Yeah, yeah.
For the most part, except for Jace took this massive 11 or 12 that I was after because he talked me into the smaller 8. And don't let him fool you here. That wasn't this past season, but the one before. I'm up to bat first because he killed the first deer the year before that.
Well, so what had happened here was Husky has spent an enormous amount of time, obviously investing his time and money into this place.
Yeah.
And hadn't got a lot of time to hunt during regular deer season.
Yeah, we were kind of, there was a lot of pressure to get it done on the first weekend.
Yeah, like you hadn't killed a deer, I think, with your bow in a couple since you opened the store, and you're feeling the pressure to go ahead and get it done. So let's go ahead and start with that.
Yeah.
But he's going after this big 10. Yeah.
Yeah, was he a 10?
Yeah, he was a 10.
He had a little kicker or something.
Yeah.
But we got this deer pattern. He's coming in with a really nice 8.
Yep.
And they're both, they come in, and again, summer patterns. So they're both there every single morning, every afternoon. I go in 30 days early, do the
set up
whole
the
ground blind, brush it in. And we're like, oh, this is going to work. Like this ground blind's been here. And like he said, I'd had so much pressure of being here at the store, and bow season was kind of like my time. Like if I didn't make it happen during bow season, during rifle season, we're so busy. I don't get a lot of opportunities till really late, like January. So we get out there opening morning.
Yep.
And sure enough, these deer are coming from the right. We got the ground blind windows open. We got the cameras. And we don't know if it's the light from the camera or what.
That's what he tries to say because I was on the camera.
Yeah, I was blaming him. He flips it over and hits the power button. It's like, makes like a clicking sound.
Yeah.
This deer, it's
Gone.
probably $4. They just take off. So, I'm like frustrated at this point. So I'm
I
sitting
think
there.
it was after the camera was on, but anyways.
So he's like out of nowhere, he's coming back straight ahead.
Oh, and he looks huge back in those trees.
Yeah.
It's just dark, and you can just see his head just
And he
up. And
double
he's really
throat
tall.
patch too, wasn't he?
He had a really bright throat patch.
Yeah, so he's coming. I'm like, okay, he's at 60 yards. He's coming straight for the feeder. This is going to happen. No, comes in, he looks as like dead.
Hangs up at like 40 yards. Yeah.
Into our soul. He's like, I'm not moving. Bust out. That afternoon, same deal. Like they have us pinned down right at dart. Here he comes from the left now. And this is the pressure when you put on a mature deer.
Yeah.
This is the last time this deer ever
Went to that
stepped
blind.
foot at that feeder. He comes in from the left, looks at us again and says, nope, this is the last time. Leaves, abandons ship. And so luckily for me, I'm impatient, man.
Yeah.
And
for me too.
the calves start yipping and hollering, and here comes his 8-point.
He's a nice 8-point.
Yeah, and I think we'll put this footage on the beginning of this. So here he comes, nice 8. He's at 32 yards, and Jason's like, now, like, is this your chance? full draw, boom, send it. Everything worked out
Oh,
perfect.
smoked him.
Yeah, I just pinwheeled this deer. He runs 30, 40 yards. But that was a fun hunt. I ended up killing this deer, but going back to the pressure we put on.
Yeah, you had a ton of pressure, and like we touched on earlier, is like in the heat of the moment, you can do some things that maybe you're like later might second guess a little bit.
and
You're
I
always grateful for the deer that you killed.
Absolutely. But I knew like I was after a completely different deer.
Yeah.
You end up taking that deer, what, 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
Yeah, he ends up taking over a completely different feeder about a mile away. That's where still during bow season, he's going to stay there. And that, but if I would have been patient and said, because I was with Jace, filming Jace, when that deer got killed, but I'd already punched my tag. But if I'd have been patient, maybe I'd have got, and I'm super glad you got that deer. One of us got that deer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little salty, but I was super happy with that 8. Kobe did a phenomenal job mounting him. But if I'd have been a little bit more patient and not had put so much pressure on myself to take a deer opening day, maybe I would have had an opportunity to kill an even bigger deer.
Yeah.
And that was a cool hunt. With that deer disappeared for 2 weeks. We didn't see that deer. That morning, I get a picture on my camera. Jace just happens to be in town. And he's like, dude.
Well, it was supposed to be our 10-year class reunion.
Oh, yeah, our 10-year class reunion. And so, all our friends are in town. And we're like.
He's like, Jace, he showed back up. He's at this blind. I'm like, oh, perfect. Like,
we got to set up a bow stand.
So we get some tree stands because we're filming at the time.
Yeah, at lunchtime, we come up here to the store. We buy a couple tree stands, run out there, set them up at the only tree is 6 yards from the feeder straight up.
Straight up.
So you're pretty much looking down on top of the feeder. And man, it just worked out.
Yeah, we're probably like 15 feet up in the area.
Yeah. And it worked out perfectly. I mean, the deer showed back up on camera. Same day, we set up a tree stand.
Well, it was kind of another thing, like similar to your hunt. In comes like a nice wide 10-point.
Yeah.
That was like a little bit younger, and we're like sitting there like, man, do we smoke
I
this
don't
thing?
know,
Or like, what should we do? And then that buck, the one that we were after, comes out, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's time.
it's good to be patient and wait. And that was great footage too.
And that was like a straight down shot. I think one thing we should talk about is like shot angles on archery deer with archery
shot
equipment.
angles. I mean, that is something like learning, especially in Texas, guys. It's not like, I feel like Texas archery is really pumped up now on the TV. Like people, like between YouTube and all the podcasts.
Well, and you can slow everything down now if you're videoing it and see how much these deer drop. Like,
their bellies will almost touch the ground, especially does. Does are the worst. The old slick heads are.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
Always aim for the heart, hope to hit the lungs.
Yeah, aim for the heart, hope to hit the lungs because they're going to drop on you. And really, like, if you're fresh into bow hunting, don't take a shot past 20, 25 yards.
Yeah, that's what I always try to do my setups for about 20.
Yeah.
And
you start pushing that, they have a lot of time to get from here to here. Like I took my biggest 8-point ever this year at 37 yards, which was risky.
Yeah.
But in Texas especially, like I knew he's 37 yards. My bow sight was at like 34 and with micro adjustments. But I knew that at 37 yards, this deer was going to drop.
Right.
So if I left it at 34, and that worked out.
Good. Yeah.
Perfect. But, guys, that came with experience and time.
Well, yeah, rewind a few years. We were you were bow hunting that big 8-point.
Yes.
Similar thing. We're about 30 yards away.
I think we were 38.
Should have
taken that shot.
Well, he ducked it. Like, there's no way around it. You clipped the top of his spine, and that deer lived, but...
Yeah, actually, one of my customers ended up bringing him in
the next season.
The next year. And I was like, hey, does that deer have a hole on his other side? We roll him over crazy. And it's like, and I guess from the shot, he'd shrunk quite a bit. Like he was an old deer though. And, but yeah, it was a perfect shot. If you watch the footage, arrow is going and that deer drops almost a foot.
Yeah.
And it just goes through the top of his back. You know, he was fine and made it, another season for the neighbor of the property to take him. But yeah, just learning those. What's your favorite shot on?
Yeah, I think what you're looking for, or what I'm always looking for, is like a quartered away, that front leg forward, just open and exposing it. Sometimes it's hard to get, but definitely want to stay away, in my opinion, from like a 1/4 and 2 shot, especially on a on a buck, you want to avoid that shoulder too.
No, and that's a risky shot.
Yeah.
Avoiding the shoulder. And so but prior to this year, my best whitetail with a bow ever, I made that shot, right? And obviously he's hanging right over there, and I was super stoked and it was one of those deals, guys. You know, remember when your release clicked?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a ground blind. It's like 97. I'm sitting there holding. This deer came in. I'm holding my bow up, and I go to draw back on him at 18 yards. My elbow pops.
Oh gosh.
My elbow pops, and he takes off running.
That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, that's
like
how
the
they can. The slightest foreign sound. He takes off. Well, he loops back around, and I don't know if the echo of it in the mesquite patch, he thought it came from the other way. Well, he loops around at like 8 yards.
Oh, gosh.
And he's looking that way like something scared him from over there. So now I draw back, and he just turns and looks at me, 1/4.
Yeah.
I sent it through the pump house.
Yeah.
Just right through the front of the shoulder. But looking back, if I would have been an inch this way to the sternum, or 2 inches this way, it's a game of inches.
Yeah, and you have to think of like, most of the time, like a broadhead or broadside shot, like you're looking for on a rifle, isn't typically what you're looking for on archery. You're trying to you have to picture that arrow's path through his body too.
Yeah.
So like if you're elevated, you're not aiming as low as you were before, because if you aim too low, that deer's dropping straight down. You're going to miss him or hit him somewhere where you don't want to.
Or you don't want to get it or spine him. And like learning those shot angles. And like I said, perfect world. You're in a ground blind. He's quartered away. Front leg forward, head up, and you're sending it right in the pocket. It's going in there, or the last rib, and it's coming out here. And that's kind of always how I project it for me. Is I try to imagine my arrow laying across the deer's back. Like, okay, when I'm about to take this shot, if I was to walk over there and time was frozen, I laid my arrow on that deer, which way would I get the most vital organs?
Yeah.
What way will my arrow face to where I'm, because it's not like a bullet that's coming in.
Yeah. How are you going to do the most damage?
And it's, and be the most ethical in that moment and take that shot. And so.
And that's another thing too, is like we talked about, whenever you get drawn back and you're like, oh my God, I'm drawn back. You see brown through the sight early on in bow hunting. When that adrenaline's pumping, you just feel the need to pull the trigger.
No, and now, how many times have you had to let down now?
Yeah, I've had to let down a couple times, but fortunately, if the shot's not there, I just don't take it. I'll let down and wait. It's better to let that deer run off than.
And I've been in moments kind of like with that deer I had to take there, which I knew he wasn't coming back. I was kind of limited on time. I was living in Abilene at the time. I'd moved from Graham out there. And so I was like, I'm not going to get to see this deer probably again for another, 30 days because I won't be back. But, I got lost there for a second.
No, that's all right.
No, but, it was a shot that I probably shouldn't have took. Sometimes you got to take a risk. And I drew back, and he was perfectly broadside, the shot I wanted. And then he turned and faced me. And you have to make a decision in that moment. You can hold through. Hope he doesn't turn. If you can't hold, do you send it, or do you let down and let the hunt be over if he is going to bust you?
Yeah, and you're a little bit safer if you're on the low side of that shoulder. Once you get up high, that's kind of what they call no man's land. Once you get on that scapula, it's hard to penetrate. But
no, it's a fun deal, guys. If we could recommend one thing for you, it's if you're not into archery, try it out. Come out here, come see us. We'd love to let you test out some bows. Get started in it. And man, Jace, thanks for being out here today.
Thanks, buddy. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Talking about bow hunting. Me and Jace have bow hunted together from Colorado to New Mexico to Texas. And since we were in junior high, we've been all over the place, and we've made it work. We found ways between time, work. And Jace lives in DFW now. So he tries to get out here every chance he can. And guys, you're going to be seeing a lot of filming coming from us this year, so we're excited about that. That's kind of our mission for this year, is to film every hunt we go on and put it on our YouTube page and get that out there to you guys. So, guys, keep watching. Thanks for watching the Clear Fork Country Podcast. Like always, whether you're on the lake or on the land, we can get you ready, friend, at Clear Fork Country. Wham!